Let's see. Oh, wrong account. One moment. Jesus.
I can't join until the other
Yeah.
friend session, so.
Just making the changes real quick. 1 second. Why is it still saying?
Can you load up at least yours so I can join the session?
Yeah. Okay, right now.
What? What? You can do it.
Create a session.
There's.
Doing a careful expedition into the Coral Highlands sounds like a good idea to me.
Okie dokie.
It should still be good. It should be good. You didn't have it for too long. I get one? No, I didn't get a jellyfish. Damn.
Eh.
I will get one. No.
Hmm.
Damn it.
Ooh.
How are you doing there?
Hold on. Oh, shit. I sent that in the wrong thing.
Hmm.
So disregard that question because I thought we were in the group.
Okay.
You'll see what I mean.
Alright, hold on. Ah.
Jesus. You know, not trying to toot my own horn, but I have never been taken out by one of these things before.
What is it?
The Tetsiki Yaku.
Okay.
Like I managed to fight him off.
Mm-hmm.
And he's one of my other favorite characters on here.
Yeah.
I mean, monsters, I guess. And I only because it reminds me of a Velociraptor.
Yeah, we don't have the other monsters here, so.
No. Are you playing too, or?
I'm here.
Okay, I have to search for the campsite, so.
I know. I'm patient. I'm just.
Well, I'm asking if you can join. That's what I
Oh.
was asking.
Let me see.
You never listen to me.
No. If you're doing it, you may have yet have a cutscene or two. You can tell someone can join if your SOS flare is available. I think we have to kill a Palumu.
It's okay. Well, I know you'll be able to join me for that one. I like the Palumu outfit too. I just feel bad because it's so cute and it's not doing anything wrong, and we gotta kill it.
But it's an aggressive carnivore.
Are you in the stream too?
I should be. You're.
I am. Sorry. Whoa, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It was the Coke. I wasn't expecting that. I am really sorry. My bad.
Why are you saying sorry?
Because it's in your ear and it's gonna be on the stream too.
That's true.
It's all good. Oh, look, there's a pearl in here.
And there's a me in here as well. Hello, all.
Hello.
Hello. So what is this game anyway?
Monster Hunter World.
Okay.
It's
Go
ahead, Fred.
What exactly is this? Because I have not, unfortunately, been watching these things.
So Monster Hunter World is a game where you go out and hunt large monsters to farm materials to make for yourself. Some monsters are benign, while some monsters are quite aggressive.
I see, and I assume you, the player, fall under the blanket of aggressive monsters.
For the most part, sometimes we have to hunt other ones as well because of the requirement of some sort. Basically, this is a world that, even though it has this technology, it has an over-reliance on the materials from these large monsters.
Ah.
It's not to say that they're, doing it just for joy and stuff. They have a necessity in the shade of film.
And so I'm assuming by the name of this is Valkyrie playing right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have that hair? Do you share that hair in reality?
No, I wish. I would love this hair color. It would make me so happy.
Well, I assume just a container of hair dye away, it lies.
Yeah. But I also don't want to damage my hair either.
Oh, true. So, what shall we talk about?
Go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was just curious, what shall we talk about, or what were you talking about before I so very rudely interrupted?
Her burping.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had soda and I burped and I was apologizing, and that was it. That was all our conversation.
Right then, so what shall we talk about?
Let's see.
Avengers Endgame.
Well, I know we got the Division now. We're supposed to be getting on that soon-ish. I think we both now also have Dead Island Definitive Edition.
I do not.
You do not. Okay. You're the last one that did that then. Okay. We've been having kind of a slightly different week. It feels like it. We weren't very active yesterday for some reason. And
today, the namesakes of the channel are not with us.
Yeah. I don't know, it's been a quiet Sunday, really, for me.
Right. So, have you seen the trailer for the new Avengers movie yet?
Oh, my Lanta, yes, I have.
Hi, remember me? I'm from the Berlin airport. Is that archive footage? No, that's the front gate.
Well, what did you think? What did you think of it? Are you excited? Are you?
I'm telling you now, just by the way Hawkeye looked, I know something had affected his family. I'm pretty sure his family has been torn apart just by that.
Or blown to ash, as it were.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a website that was on Wired. Well, it was advertised by Wired that showed whether or not that had some algorithm to show whether or not you were spared by Thanos, and none of my roommates were, so I have floated it over them. Anyway, but yes, it looks like it's going to be an interesting movie.
It's probably gonna be.
I'm quite excited. So I wonder if it has the same levels of hype surrounding it that the original Infinity War did.
I would say so because we gotta figure out who's gonna make it back. I don't think Chris Evans is gonna make it back somehow because it's his final movie in his contract. I think.
Yeah, this is his last time he's going to play
Captain America.
Yep.
So either A, he's written off somewhere, or B, he's killed.
Don't say that.
Well, I mean, Captain America has died before.
Yes, and hasn't stuck very well that time. But
No, it didn't.
my point is more the movie is, because if I remember correctly, the hype for Infinity War was mostly centered around it's the biggest crossover event in history. Whereas, from what I've
I think his mic dropped out.
Yeah, because he
Yeah,
kind of.
I see where he was getting at, though.
Yeah.
I would say, from what I observed, there's a fair amount of hype. It's more of a, like, how is this going to go down hype instead of like, oh my god, it's happening hype.
Yes, that's generally what I was getting at. Can you hear me now?
Yes. It's a different kind of hype. It's not the same kind, so it cannot really be compared per se.
Yes, it's a lot less. It's almost like between release of an album and going to the doctors to see whether or not it's terminal.
Essentially.
Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't go that way. But it should be a good ride, though.
What was your first Marvel movie?
Me, Iron Man. No.
Yes, yeah.
Wait, hold up.
It was Iron Man.
No. The first Marvel movie I saw in theater was probably X-Men.
I was far too young when X-Men came out. If that doesn't make you feel old. No, first I was more referring to the Marvel movies of this cinematic universe, in which case Iron Man.
Yeah.
I did not see Iron Man.
Actually, it was technically the Incredible Hulk. Because there was
Norman.
Yeah, I think so. There was a bit of a hint there about S.H.I.E.L.D., but not quite yet. So it was, but everything started to really click when Iron Man was released.
Yep.
Yeah. I've never actually seen Iron Man. So was look at the first Avenger.
Iron Man is good. Captain America: First Avenger is probably my favorite Marvel film.
Yeah.
Hands down, it's my favorite. With Winter Soldier following up.
Well, superheroes meet Indiana Jones. Can't really go wrong with that.
No, that first film was amazing because of how it was done. Are you still searching, Bob?
Yeah, I am.
Yes.
And I'm also collecting so I can make more ammo and stuff.
Okay.
But I can't remember where this next campsite is, so that's another reason why I'm just kind of like
Zone, like around Zone 10 and Zone 11.
Just think of how much the world has changed. Like, take this game. I mean, in the time span of these movies coming out, because Iron Man was 2008, I want to say, 2010,
2009, 2008.
2009, 2008. But just think of like a game like this. This would have been top tier graphics. Look at them in awe. And now this is run of the mill big game.
Yeah. There were, well, and the CGI to comparison also got better with each film too. It definitely did in Stat Night. Games have certainly advanced as well. I mean, the nature of games have changed as well. Back then, microtransactions were unheard of, and now they're everywhere. And
They were unheard of, but they weren't at anywhere near
cancerous
the
levels.
level they are. They weren't built in to as they were now,
Yeah.
as they
Yeah.
are now.
Hey, partner.
Our real-time strategy games were still, on par back then.
That's the monster we ran into earlier.
Okay. RTS games were still really big then compared to now, where they're just a really niche market. Times change, friend.
And by the way, how do you say that word? Niche?
Niche, yeah. N-I-C-H-E.
I've heard it pronounced so many different ways. Niche. The way I say it is a niche.
Mm-hmm. I say niche. That's the way I heard it.
What about you, Val?
This is if he's mentioned it before, I want to say this is actually the first time I've ever heard of that word.
Really?
Yeah, so it sounds fancy, but
it's a very niche word. So what niche means is it's very select, very exclusive. Like, for example,
Nurturing or relating to products, services, or interests that appeal to small, specialized sections of the population.
For example, anime is considered a niche market still.
Is it really though?
Fair to say. I mean, in certain parts of the country, not so much. Like, everyone I talk to who is not familiar with it is like, "What the fuck is that? Is that hentai?" There's just no understanding of the market in some levels, but that's fine. It's a niche taste.
I would think it's more prevalent.
Yeah. Of course, one has to remember though that often we surround ourselves with our similar interests, so it's hard to notice it being a small interest in the first place.
That is very true. What's an interest that you and no one else likes? For example, with me, I have a soft spot for old 1940s black and white musicals from MGM.
Not a bad niche.
What about you? So let's start with Val, because she's been rather quiet. What is something that you like and no one else really does?
Actually, no. Does it have to be like cinematic, or can it be just anything?
Anything.
Anything. It could be,
okay.
I don't know, a brand of electrical socket.
Well, out of the group of people that I associate with, and you can even ask Ring, I'm the only one. Well, I can't really say I'm the only one, but I crochet and I make candles, and I really get miffed when people confuse crochet with knitting, even though it's similar but not similar, because crocheting's with one hook and knitting is with two, and there's different techniques. So that's what I do that majority of my groups doesn't do. So I'm rather crafty, and they're just kind of like, as Shane, he's into the firearms and stuff, so he can go in more details about that.
I feel like I have two niche interests. No, because everybody at work is into this, into guns, so I really can't say that. But in my former group, I would say that I was the one who really pushed the firearm presence, and Val would agree to that. As for interest, my love for trains.
Trains?
Trains.
Oh dear God! Are you a train spotter?
No, we don't live near. Well, we have diesel electric trains around here. Diesel electric, unless you want to be near, like say, there's a museum that's around here too. Anyways,
Get him on
I-
Thomas the Tank. He'll tell you this, like the background.
that's what
history.
started it because I watched Thomas the Classic Railway series that was on PBS back in the day on the show called Shining Time Station.
Right.
Yeah, and that is where my love began. Of course, I only watched the first 5 seasons. I didn't watch any of the later seasons back then. Most of them were good. So then the love just stuck. No matter how old I got, no matter how big I am, no matter what I'm doing, I always have a want to stop for trains. I have the electric sets, which are the the ones that cost like $80 to $90 a pop just for the engine. I have some of that from the show as well, and I still have my classic train set, my play school train set that I had since I was like 5, stashed away.
I sort of get that on a certain level. I guess in addition to the 40s thing, I'm what you might call an Anglophile.
Mm-hmm.
As part of that, I'm sort of very particular to sort of Britain in the 30s and 40s.
Okay.
So, as a part of that, over the summer, I worked at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and we have a full-scale model of the train they used in that film. And I am the type of person that when I get into something, I get really interested and go look up the minutiae, so I can tell you various facts about, for example, the used as the Hogwarts Express is a Hog class GWR 460 model built in April of 1934 at Swindon Works called Alton Hall.
Huh.
That ended operational service in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Refurbished for the film in the 90s. Anyway, I don't want to say anything that might have people in the comments jumping out at me in any way. As I said, it is a very niche interest.
It is.
So
But it's your interest.
It's yes, as it is everyone else's. So, Val, why don't you give us a little update on what you've done? Because I'm sorry I haven't been paying attention to what you've been doing in game.
Oh, so right now I've completed searching for the tzatziki and the camp and the coral the coral place.
Highlands.
Sorry, I totally forgot what I was supposed to do. So now I am on my way to hunt the palumu.
Paolumu.
Yes.
Paolumu. That's a fun word to say. Paolumu.
Well, in this one, it's like a fluffy bat monster.
A fluffy bat monster that inflates its neck with a gaseous pouch to make it big.
And it bounces. And lots of wind. Gusts of wind.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're hunting someone's accursed teddy bear or something. It's so fluffy, and it jumps, and its neck does this cute little thing.
This is one of my.
I mean, you're about right. Yes.
Yeah, and it really is cute, and I feel bad that I have to go out and hunt this damn thing, but when it gets really enraged, it does become quite tedious.
Of course, you have that cute little thing following you. What is that? It looks like a cross between a skull and a rabbit.
Oh, this is my Peter, my Palico. I have him. His armor right now just consists of actually multiple things, but that's a skull armor. And he has a festive bell. I can't remember what that one does.
It's a small humanoid cat.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, and I consider him my partner. Now, if we talk about Esp, he feels like they are forced to be our servants and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, you're looking more into that than you should. I don't see them as a servant. They chose this life. They knew they knew what they're getting themselves into.
Look, speaking of servants, I have recently. Hold on a moment. I have recently picked up this rather fascinating book, and I know it is somewhat redundant, if not anachronistic, to discuss book choices on a video game stream, but that's just me.
Hey, books are good.
It's a book called The Butler's Guide to Running the Home and Other Graces, and it's written by this fascinating fellow, Stanley Ager, who was a
How do I do this?
Go ahead, friend.
Yes, it's written by this fellow Stanley Ager, and he was he worked for this one family since the 30s, since before the war,
Okay.
to the 70s, and he's written a book on how to be a butler, and so it has things which are a bit old-fashioned, like how to make furniture wax. The key is beeswax and turpentine.
Mm.
How to set a table, how to properly decant a wine.
Proper like kind of like the should I say the essentially a guide to do it at the level of a professional in a sense.
Yes, to being a butler.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's a very sort of art style to it as well.
As well. Let's see, what else can we talk about?
So, did you happen to watch the Pokemon Detective Pikachu trailer?
I actually didn't, because when I saw it, I thought it was and pardon my language here, I thought it was a shitpost.
Nope. It was the
I
real
haven't
deal.
actually seen it yet. So,
You should take a moment to do so, sir.
right, I'll be right back. I'll just take a look. I'll just take a quick look at it, and you can listen to my reactions as to.
Okay.
See, it's so cute, and then it comes in so angry. You can join me now.
Alright. He's watching
that
the
looks
Pokemon
cool.
trailer.
Whoa.
This looks far too serious for Pokemon.
Oh, but it's great.
Shit.
This can't be real.
Come on, bitch.
It's
Oh
real.
my god. Son of a bitch.
On my way.
No, it's just this fucking... I'm fucking up again. I really need to change my keys.
Why is this a thing?
Ooh. Come on. Oh my god. No, it's just the fucking key controls again. And me trying to fucking maneuver it. And it's just... Oh, I really need to hook up my controller for this shit.
This can't be real. Why is this real?
Because it's real, because
Why?
it was said. The Pokemon gods have stated.
Hold on.
Seems like someone's YouTube original series. This isn't a fuck. Why the hell is this a movie? Are they that desperate in Hollywood? Oh, that's an angry Jigglypuff.
Hey, I approve of this just because of how it looks. And it's cute.
Almost there.
Okay. Well, aw, you cunt.
What? I can shove it? Okay, that's it. No, we're switching roles. I'm bad cop. You're good cop. No, we're not cops. Plan differently.
And Deadpool is bleeding Pokemon. Why? This is a movie you make
Oh my
after
god,
you've made.
this thing is starting to piss me off.
Okay, I have several questions.
Mm-hmm.
First of all being, why?
Because they announced it like 2 years ago, and they finally released the trailer.
And see, the other thing is, I never played Pokemon as a kid.
Hmm.
Sorry, and I understand, Val, you're being pissed off, so hearing another man scream high-pitched in your ear probably isn't helping anything.
No, it's
Uh.
okay. I should be fine. This gives me more of a reason to freaking get my vengeance out on this fucking. And I can't even be
There
mad.
it
I
is.
can only be mad at myself because I obviously don't know how to use my equipment properly.
So, Free Dyer, is that you, Ring?
No.
Frydea, that's him.
Yes.
Oh, Friday. Yeah, that's me. Sorry. Like what? Yeah, that's me.
I'm noticing a
Oh, well, he's
pattern here.
He was asleep. Say what's up?
Do you name all your characters after Vegas pagan deities?
No.
He always names his characters after himself in a sense, like his Friday. He had he had an account Friday something. Get the fuck out the way.
So Friday comes from high school. I was once upon a time at the school, and I was happy sat landed right next to me. I had a Friday hat on, and the guy didn't know my name, so I was like, "Hey, you, Friday, with the hat." I said, "Huh?" He was like, "Yeah, how's the happy sat?" So I gave that to them, and then I joined them, and they just ever since then the Friday name just stuck during high school. My other name, which is most common, is Ringleader, which is actually also from high school too. I used to go to high school with Espionage, though we were not in the same grade. And his friend Daniel Segovia became a friend of mine. Then Daniel thought of the idea of making an online gaming clan once upon a time for Team Fortress Classic.
Oh, yes.
And then he said we should name you Ringleader. I was like, okay.
Good
So
job, baby. Is that a fort?
The name stuck.
Oh, cool. Show Uncle Jake. I'm sorry. Our son was showing me something he built.
Oh, that's adorable. You have a son.
Yeah,
Yeah, we do.
he's adorable 6-year-old. He's a shithead though, but we love him nonetheless.
Right.
Hey! I'm not lying though.
He's a troll.
He takes after his dad.
Yeah.
See, you didn't deny it.
Oh, look at these things. They look like fat chickens.
Oh yeah.
But you see what we mean? How he puffs up, and he does his gust of wind, and it's horrible. Oh, and then he does the bounce, and you faint. Yeah, second time, and we're gonna get. Don't die.
Did you eat?
Oh, that's what I forgot to do.
And you're down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second time, I die or faint one more time. We have to start this all over again.
That's a hell of an ambulance service, sort of like here on the ground.
Well, at least they carry you back, I guess.
Yes.
I got a Ladiana and a Tiziti as well as a Paloma over here.
Fun.
I better not see it, seeing as I'm following her feed. And
Yeah.
what
You'll
back, as it
see what I'm going through here very shortly.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
silence falls over the crowd. As the vigorous return journey continues.
I don't
It
think
really
I'll
is
do it.
rather amazing how beautiful scenery can become buggeringly annoying after you have to go back through it several times.
Yeah.
Very true.
I used to have this map pretty much down. I think I'm going the wrong way. But I can't tell because I have these fucking creatures on my ass. Okay.
Okay,
So
team
when you're
challenge.
in battle or in a dangerous spot, you can't follow the fireflies. They turn red and they disappear. So if you're on a hot trail, it goes pretty much cold until you're out of harm's way.
Ah. See, what else is there to talk about?
The Tsuki left. Because I saw his flash somewhere over here.
Ooh, I have an idea.
Hmm.
He has decided not to grace our presence. Let's talk about him, shall we?
Okay, what do you got in mind?
Well, stories that he would interrupt and keep us from telling.
Now that I don't know too much of, since most of the dead stuff has already been broadcasted here. I really can't say a lot like that, because he usually just busts it out in the open when that happens. And everybody usually knows about it, so I don't remember shit. I know he told the story about the table thing on 9/11, which was a very interesting day to say the least. Alright, busted a sack.
I know the one where he jumped out of the car. That's another one I know.
I would say he hasn't told me too much that isn't too embarrassing, to be honest.
And honestly, I don't know him well enough to know any of these stories. I just know him by, I guess you would say, association from Ring, from what he's told me.
Where? Did you go up there? No, he's flying down.
Oh, all right then. Let's hear it. Both of us know SB rather well.
Mm-hmm.
It's someone who sort of known through association. First impression.
First impression. Oh yeah, that was the day 7 days back.
Okay. Well, the first time I've ever I didn't hear his voice until I started joining him in gaming, but we were playing him. Okay, Ring and I were playing with one of our friends, and playing 7 Days to Die, and he joins our I guess what would you call it? Our party.
Yeah, we were.
Okay. And he started talking to us in the in-game chat, and my friend, she was like, "Oh, this guy, he's like using like good words and stuff, like big words, like he's very knowledgeable, very literate."
Particular.
Yeah, and we like if you heard him speak, he has very intellectual. That's the word I'm talking about, and she admires people who have intellect like that. Anyways, it was pretty much, and if she's watching this stream, I'm sorry, but she pretty much, I'll let Ring explain this one. That way I'm not gonna die if she is watching.
She was essentially ready to drop the proverbial panties.
Oh, no.
Okay,
She has I don't know if it would be a crush per se, but anyways, she has, I don't know the proper term for it.
She swooned.
She swooned, yeah, that. And so that was the first time like I actually talked to him and like saw it, and then of course he didn't stay too long into the game because he's explaining what your butthole. Sorry, he explained that with those type of games he'd rather work alone. So I guess that's what he was doing.
I work alone, sweetheart.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but when I first heard him and actually talked to him, he's very creative. Like he has all these great ideas, like especially with the gaming we're in, like odds and ends. And he's very knowledgeable, and he seems like an awesome guy. Like Shane's met him in person, I haven't. So my first impression of him was pretty good. Like I didn't get any like, oh my gosh, I don't ever want to talk to this guy again type feelings.
She's gonna meet him soon anyway, so.
Yeah.
So,
But
the first time. Oh, sorry. Go on.
I just like I've always had some sort of laugh, and even though we have like arguments or we all seem like we gang up on him, he's still a pretty cool guy.
I first met him. He, for those of you who don't know, he writes. He's writing this series, crossover between Mass Effect and Half-Life.
Mhm.
And I first met him through that, and I offered to be editor on his work, and he said yes. And so I was working through that, and then I said, I do voice stuff. So I recorded one of the big speeches, because for those of you who don't know, anytime he can write a big speech, he does. So I sat down in my little room, and I set up this microphone that I got him for Christmas, and I recorded it. He said, "Wow, that sounds great. Here, this is my version of that same speech." And I listened to his voice, and my first response was higher than I had ever imagined.
Yeah, he does definitely have a high voice.
Yes, because I had imagined, because the way I do it is sort of like, in these times of triumph, sort of very Shakespearean, very deep gravitas, and he's like, in these times of triumph. And so that was the first time I heard his voice, and then we would chat, usually over his work. And you were there the first time I came on, and I was offensively British, some might say.
I love it. I'm sorry.
No, it's not. It's fine. It's fine. That's part of why I do it. You see, is that I have found that people in this country are immeasurably nicer to you when they think you're for it. Well, when you think they're the right kind of for it, for lack of a better phrase.
Like,
So,
with me, I always admire somebody who is talented in their own way, like how you can do the voice acting or the voiceovers and stuff like that. I admire that because it's something I can't do. Or people who can play like RPGs, or I'm not really big into an RPGs. Like I just learned from last year. We went to PAX South, and I'm sorry for interrupting you, but
oh no. Val, this seems to be a running theme with the pair of us. Is that both of us want to talk at the same time?
But my point of the story is I admire people who are talented like that, who have their own special uniqueness. Like, it's like if I can't do something, or if it's something like I'm not used to, call me, I don't know if it's naive or right word, but it's just like, I'm fascinated by it. And it's like like with Shane, like his ways, his goofiness, his ways is one of the things, many of the reasons why I like him so much is because of the things he's interested in. Because I've never, like, when the whole train thing, I wasn't into trains until, he's like, oh, this is this, or this is that, or the tanks, or PC gaming. He got me into PC gaming, so like stuff like that. So anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead, continue.
No, it's fine. It's fascinating to hear. And I'm certain you could do voiceover. Everyone could really do voiceover. It's just you have to have sort of the only prerequisite, I should think, is having a distinctive voice. And if you don't have one by nature, you can cultivate it. By nature is rather boring to hear. It's just a general southwestern United States city boy accent. Imagine almost a valley, something between a 1940s film star and a valley girl, and that's kind of what my normal voice sounds like. And oh no, you killed the bat puppy thing. But oh god, it's not dead. Kill it with fire. No, it's sort of
don't hit me with your butt. Thank you. Yeah, you
Why
have
did you
to...
wait for me? I had traps all the time.
Why didn't you say something? You should have told me. Communication. See, we're also distraction
you've
too.
done it anyway.
Yeah, and also when you threw that trap, I thought I had fainted again. I was gonna have been so pissed. This took longer than I expected, but then again, I was quite distracted with this lovely conversations we were having.
Oh, no, it's lovely. I enjoy. Why does he have a massive bell?
That's because of the festive,
Khakis.
yeah. Each like I don't want to say just holiday, but they also do it like with each season. They come up with this event pack or whatever, or event thing. And right now we're in our the Christmas one, so that's part of the Christmas event. This is all you.
What?
Alignment master, like you've had my screen completely filled up. I didn't stay on there too long. I was looking for my name and I didn't see it.
Oh.
But I wasn't expecting to see my name because, like I said, I was not really doing such a good job like I normally do.
Wow. You helped murder that cute, defenseless animal more than anyone else.
I shot it in the face. That's something.
Prepare before you head
Yes.
out to the Rotten Vale?
Yes.
Oh, I hate the Rotten Vale. I am not going there yet.
Go there, so we can get other on.
Ah, I hate that one. Do you hear my distaste? Because I really hate that.
I can hear it. It is almost palpable, your distaste. And I think...
She's being dramatic.
No, really, I hate the Rotten Vale. If I can avoid this one, I would, but I can't. It's part of this. We eventually get out of it.
It's not gonna take long.
It's just a pain in the ass.
No use in waiting. Might like it this time.
Yay.
Oh, yes.
I'm predicting something. What the fuck am I predicting?
So, are you two planning to see that new Spider-Man movie that's coming out?
The animated one?
Spider-Verse?
Yes.
Not sure.
I'm taking my son to see it.
You are?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You-
I saw it, and it is quite possibly the best Spider-Man movie I've seen in my life.
When is this happening?
I don't know when I have money for it. But he's been into Spider-Man. Like, he's always like Spider-Man since my dad showed him the Tobey Maguire one.
Yes. Well, this is actually almost a quasi-sequel to it, you realize.
I don't know. I honestly haven't looked too much into it. It's just like when I started seeing like the previews for it in theaters or commercial-wise, I'm more intrigued to go see it now.
I mean, it's by the guys who do the Lego movie, so you know it's going to be something
It
special.
has to be good. If that's the case, because our son loves the Lego movie. We could.
Yes, the Lego movie was what I expected it to be absolute dog shite, but it actually turned out to be one of my favorite movies ever.
Oh. Then it has to be good. I mean,
It is good. I've seen it. I saw an advanced screening of it, and it is my one piece of advice is stay to the very end credits.
Hey, over there.
Stinger, but it has a very entertaining stinger.
Gotcha.
It is deserving of all praise that it's getting.
Very well.
No other word to describe it than amazing.
Understood.
No,
Let me know when you're going.
okay. I have a cutscene. Excuse me.
yes. Rotten Vale.
There, heads up.
Yeah.
Rotten Vale.
Ugh. The place is.
I will say your purple hair looks resplendent in this cutscene.
Thank you.
Oh dear God!
Definitely complicates setting up camp.
Like a combination of
I know.
mucus, decayed flesh, and pus.
That's an accurate description. Rotten Vale is the place where monsters go to die.
Pretty much.
And where you go to die from the sounds of it.
Yeah, I've died here multiple times. It's
When in doubt, burn 'em out.
this next monster I have a love-hate relationship with, mostly hate.
Why do you love it though?
Hey,
Well,
partner.
because I think it looks cool. But don't forget to eat, Ring.
So
Like,
Yeah.
you
like how the design is on the how the monster's design look, like how he looks. It just, you know, looks awesome. I just don't.
so
I'm sorry.
it's you like it on an aesthetic level, but on all other levels you find it repugnant.
Yeah, I hate it because I've been killed multiple times by it, and
Mhm.
if you
Ooh.
and this one, if in the Rotten Vale, if you go into certain sections, they have a gas where you can't breathe. Like you either have to have special equipment or a mask or um, certain rocks to cause, like you have to burn it, because if you stay too long in it, you end up like dying.
Right.
Yeah. So and there are
You're
other
going to get this specialized piece of equipment that allows you to breathe, or are you going to burn it?
at the right at this moment, because I don't have that much equipment. You made a backpack that looks like Finn's backpack from Adventure Time. Is that your sword? Walkie-talkie?
Oh,
The
that's
radio?
adorable.
Oh, okay. Well, that looks like a walkie-talkie, but you said it's a backpack. So it could be something like a communicator from one of the soldiers. Yeah, you need straps. I don't know if we're gonna find anything that's gonna hold your blocks to your back, babe.
I cannot join yet.
I know, I have to find it first, and it's not gonna take, hopefully it doesn't take too long. If I remember correctly, it should be like,
It's always
It's a
it's
smaller
lovely to
zone.
hear. It's lovely to hear you interact with your son.
yeah, he actually got me into Bendy. He loves Bendy the Ink Machine, so I make that one of the
Ooh.
games that I play. The very first time that I played Bendy the Ink Machine, I had told him, I was like, baby, this is a scary game. It's not gonna, you're not gonna like it. Well, there was, you know how, well, it's a jump scare. So there's a part where something, I guess the demon had jumped out, and he goes, "Ooh, no." And then like he kind of like was like, "No, I'm done with that." But ever since he's seen that, he's been obsessed with the game too. He wants the blocks and the pops and the plushies and stuff.
Oh
So
no, not the Funko Pops.
yeah, he's like every time we go to GameStop, he sees it, and then but he's really big on the Roblox. Yeah, this is not where I need to go. This is not where I need to go at all.
What?
That is where you need to go.
Oh no, I don't want to go down there.
Yeah, too.
Oh dear God! Why? This place is disgusting. It's revolting. It's vile. It's. Hold on while I consult my thesaurus.
Is this the effluvium?
Repulsive.
Yeah, I'm just kind of running out of this area because I don't have the.
You're gonna have to run through it.
Appalling.
Yeah.
It's contemptible. It's depraved. It's despicable. It's disgraceful. It's disgusting. It's horrid. It's nasty. It's noxious. It's repugnant. It's repulsive. It's revolting. It's sleazy. It's ugly.
You can
It's vicious. It's vulgar. It's abject.
You
It's
can
bad. It's
definitely
base.
tell
It's
this
coarse.
is a
Corrupt.
place of death.
Debased. Degenerate. Dirty.
Yeah.
Evil. Filthy. Foul. Ignoble. Impure. Inquisitous. Loathsome. Nauseating. Nefarious. Perverted. Repellent. Sickening.
No, go
Sinful.
away.
Stinking. Wicked. Worthless. And wretched.
We get the idea.
Yeah, but you're not wrong on any accord there. Okay. Okay, that's a no for me. You made a sword? Cool. Go see if you can put it in your backpack.
Bad.
So, Ring actually got Donovan into. I don't know how he got Donovan into Roblox. If he found it on like YouTube or something.
YouTube.
Ah,
And
yes.
then he got him into Gary's mod.
Oh yes, that was actually my first because I didn't really start gaming until I was in high school. But Gary's Mod was the first game I really ever played, so
Yeah, it's a.
that is a game that
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Hey, you gotta go down further.
I don't want to go
I
down.
You have to.
Don't tell me how to live my life. I don't want it.
I'm afraid you have to go down. I don't want to. Coming from both of your mouths is a phrase that I don't think is safe for broadcast on this family-friendly channel.
If I'm in here, it's nothing's family related with what comes out of my mouth, and it's not necessarily dirty stuff. It's the language, as Shane calls it. Huh? Oh, they look
No,
like grenades.
it was the phrasing.
Such a woman like a literal child in the background of her feed.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I wouldn't. I don't say that in front of him. Every time I said something.
You kind of just did the. I don't want to go down. Yes, you do. No, you don't. You're gonna go down. You gotta go down.
No, because I'm talking about the game, not talking about that stuff.
I just point out that since this discussion began, we've added 2 more viewers.
Well, yay, welcome. I can't. Devil's Spike, do I have. I really have to.
They're going to.
I am seriously full. My ammo's all. Everything room. Actually, let me go back to the main. Should I go back to the main campsite so I can.
No, the second campsite's down there.
Great Gyarados. But that's not what I'm looking for. I'm investigating the Rotten Vale.
Yes. So you're almost down to the bottom.
Okay.
It'll let you go back to camp once you get to the next objective.
I
I just point out that that horrible, disgusting, vile liquid is touching your character's pale flesh.
That's just water.
Is it? Is it really?
Yeah, it's water.
Yeah, it's just water. It's fresh water. Well, as fresh as it's gonna get in the Rotten Vale. Oh, I can't jump down there. This one, something I can't. Oh, go away. Go away. I deserve that because I'm an idiot.
Oh, you pronounce it idiot in a real way, in a very interesting way for an American.
No, she just does it that way just cause.
Yeah, well, honestly, it's not, like, I've heard it before, but I watched Supernatural, and one of my favorite characters is Bobby from Supernatural, and I just love how he says idiot, because, you know, Bobby's like a redneck. If you've seen Supernatural.
It's interesting you said that way, because that, as far in my knowledge of British dialects, that's a legitimate way, that's a more northern way of saying.
Okay, I think I gotta go find the Radaban.
Idiot.
Yeah. Because it says, sight of great girls and then investigate the Rotten Vale. That's what it said.
Yeah, and the bottom area is blocked off right now.
Yep. So, you bunghole.
Language.
I guess you can just return to the camp, because where the Radaban is way up there. Oh, you're in combat.
Fuck.
Run, little Valkyrie, run! But you will never escape.
You know what? I know I'm going further down, and that's not my intent to do, but I'm trying to get out of this freaking combat mode.
Which one?
Bugsy Malone.
No. Can't say I have.
1920s gangster drama with children. He's a child, and instead of guns, they use custard pies and machine guns that shoot custard.
That's interesting, to say the least.
It's a musical.
I think the oldest musical I've ever seen was probably Gone with the Wind.
I have yet to see that movie. Gone with
Nazis.
the Wind.
Starring Scott Baio.
Singing in Nazis. Da, 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 da.
You know what's also an extremely sad freaking movie?
Uh,
The Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Oh dear God, I had to watch that one summer. For some reason, I decided to watch a lot of Holocaust movies one summer.
Uh-huh.
That more than Schindler's List destroyed me.
Oh, I love Schindler's List. Like, I'm. But the boy in the striped pajamas, like, here, rip out my heart and just freaking grind it up. It's like he didn't see anything like wrong, you know, like and just for him to, oh my goodness, I don't want to say it because I don't, you know, spoilers and stuff, but it's just, it's the feels, man. It's in the feels.
What is a movie that makes you cry uncontrollably?
Well, can I exclude The Lion King?
Really? The Lion King makes you cry uncontrollably.
Okay. Ever since I was a kid, like that was my favorite, like ultimate favorite movie. I would come home every day after school and I would watch it. Like this is the one movie I can quote, like with my eyes closed. So, but every time Mufasa dies, I'm just like, either I have to fast forward it or I start freaking crying again. But
But it's an integral part of the plot.
I know, but doesn't mean I have to like it.
So that Ring, what movie makes you cry uncontrollably?
The
The Notebook.
Notebook did, yes. We never watched it together either, by the way.
No, and you know what? I bought it and I have yet to watch it.
You're gonna go for an emotional ride, all things considered.
Yeah. See, if I have to watch chick
If you did my
flicks,
drift.
I am going to like watch them by myself so no one can watch me cry, because you know I don't like crying.
So, now when it comes to just studies in general that made me cry, there is one thing that'll make me cry every time, guaranteed. Are you familiar with Full Metal Alchemist?
Oh.
Okay, yes. Oh,
It's not the girl. I don't cry about the girl.
I know which scene.
Yeah.
Ugh.
There's a scene where Lieutenant Hughes was murdered.
Oh yeah.
Or Colonel Hughes.
Where is this?
Yeah, and after the murder, which Roy Mustang does not find out till way later on who did it, but during that moment when they're burying him, he has a little girl. It was about 3 or 4.
Oh yeah, is it the thing where the little girl jumps on the casket? Oh, why are they putting dirt on Daddy?
No, not quite. She didn't jump on there. She was being carried by her mom. But she did say that, like, why is he putting dirt on Daddy? Daddy still has work to do. Why are you doing that? And he just kept going and going and going, and it broke my heart.
Yeah. Okay, you can come join now.
All right.
Let me think. What's a movie that really makes me cry? Coco? Does Coco count?
Huh?
The second Remember Me?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. In Coco?
Yes, when he sings it to old Coco, because that makes me cry. But like a movie that...
Why can I not join?
You should be able to.
Did we drop from each other's sessions?
Remember me,
Let's try this again.
though I have to say goodbye. Remember me, make me fly. 'Cause even though I'm far away, I'll hold you in my heart. I'll sing this secret song to you each night we are apart.
Oh, you know what? I might have to exit out of the expedition and then join back
Yeah,
in.
it is. It's not a real quest yet. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yes.
hold on.
So bad.
I'm gonna do that, and then that way you can join, so you can get some gameplay. But like I said, I think the Rotoban looks pretty cool. His great features.
It looks like a bunch of bones being held together by tar.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what it is. And it's a monster that uses other bones as armor.
Uh-huh. That's why he rolls around like in the ground like
Sorry, I
that, since the
forgot.
Rotten Vale
You
is
were out cold when I found
is
you.
the
Covered
And
in
desert
who are
valley, pretty
you?
much.
I'm from the First Fleet. You folks are lucky to be alive.
Hang on.
Who is this?
She's another hunter.
Oh, you saved us. Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you.
Just glad you're still in one piece. Fifth Fleet, am I right? What are you doing out here?
And who's the excitable one in the goggles?
That's the handler. She's the one that gives you the quests, or you go to for the quests and stuff.
And makes you your delicious-looking meals.
Yes.
This
Well,
is from Zora
yeah.
Magdaros?
kinda.
I'll see what I can
She
find.
does it when you're on
Spent
like
years delving into this valley's
expeditions, but you can
secrets,
go to the canteen
and I'm
where you have
starting to
cats or
understand a
palicos do
thing
it
or
for
two.
you.
A
Now it's your
mandragos.
turn. Learn all that you can about this place. Next time
So,
we meet,
Valkyrie, I'm all for people having their own senses of style, but may I ask,
Good.
Huh?
See ya.
why isn't your character wearing a shirt?
It's because of the armor. So
I'm
she
sorry?
has she has bone armor on, and that's how it's designed. I don't have enough equipment. Yeah, I don't have enough equipment to make better armor just yet. So with this game, there's a lot of farming and repetition, plus great storyline too. But it just
What? An MMORPG having a lot of grinding? Surely you jest!
okay. In my defense, I don't play a lot of RPGs. Like I play
She never even like whenever she starts a JRPG, she never even gets past like the intro, which is
'Cause-
usually abandons it by that point.
I get bored of it. I mostly play shooters and just horror games. Nothing like where you have to go do this and then do this and do this and stuff like that. But like I probably would have beaten Dark Souls already if it wasn't so much fucking farming you have to do just to level up to beat a boss and stuff like that. So just like the repetition, it gets boring after like the farming gets boring after a while and I lose interest. But I still play. I still do my games and stuff. But this one, I like it better when you can play with people. When I play with people.
Specific people.
Yeah, like so you have certain people. I guess you can say, picky on who I play this with. And if that makes any sense, like if it was someone like random, like someone I don't know, I won't play. I'd rather play with the people I do know because they know how I play. If that makes it does make
I
sense.
see.
Yeah. So like Ring, he knows, like when we play 7 Days to Die or Empyrean, he knows what I like to do, how I play, and when he wants to do online, like an online server, or if it's thrown into the mix, I'm always like no, because if I let like a random person in that I don't know, I'm worried about my shit getting destroyed or not
Taken
being there
or-
when I get back. Yeah. But this one, everything you collect is yours for the most part.
Our next hunt is either probably to be
Hold on, I'm doing the missions for the Palicos.
okay.
Well, I'm sending them on their own little voyage.
Yeah, the Tail Raiders.
Yeah.
I
I mean, you can play it. See
damn
streaming
it, I
videos
got
or
that
something.
song stuck in my head again. Well, now.
I'm sorry. What were you talking to me? I was talking to my roommate. I don't.
I don't know, I was just sort of talking out in general. Now, let's see, what else can we talk about?
And I'm taking a break real quick. It shouldn't be too much longer.
Alright.
Okay. She's taking a slight break in the game.
Ah, yes.
Where?
Okay. Well, we lost 2 of our viewers. That's fine. Well, I'm not really.
No, actually, we gained 1 back.
Well, we had 5, and I'm only seeing 3.
4.
Huh.
Hey, partner.
Let's do.
Shall we,
Oh, I see 4
let's-
now. Okay, so I'm posting this quest.
Alright.
And also, like, to better help yourself, like, level up or get better equipment, doing the events or arenas or optionals will really help to, like, help you out. You can,
Join.
yeah. What the heck? No. You should be able to join me now.
I am.
Okay.
Yes, and now begins the main, from what I gather, the main attraction of this game, which is beating the ever-living tar out of massive monsters.
Yeah,
Correct.
pretty much. Huh? Yeah, my little game. Hey, he loves that game.
Loves what now?
Our 6-year-old loves Pikmin 3.
Really?
Yeah. He's been gaming since what? He was 3, Ring?
Yes.
The new generation.
Yeah. And he likes he started out with Minecraft,
As many do.
and then it just. Are you ready to go? Yeah. Well, and then it started with that being on a PlayStation 3. Then we got a Wii U, and he started with Mario on that.
Then we got the
And-
PlayStation 4, and he started trying to get on that.
Yeah, and then we got him onto the PC, which he's all about that, but he plays Fortnite with his cousins on the PlayStation 4 when they're over.
What is your opinion on parents who hire video game tutors?
Dumb. Dumb.
Hire. Is it any different from someone who hires nowadays who hired sort of like a soccer coach?
You know, honestly, I would have to say to each their own. I mean, if there are, like, with our son, and I'm assuming when you say video game tutors, because this is the first time I'm hearing of it.
Basically, it's people, like,
it's
for example, for Fortnite, who will coach them on how to play Fortnite better.
You know, again, to each their own, because one, you have to start somewhere. You have, say they, for take Ring and me for example, our son was born into a gaming family, whether it was PC or console. So he had us to, like, learn from. But you're gonna have these families where they never played games before, or, you know, never had a system of themselves. So if they get it for their loved ones or something like that, or if they just pick it up, having a tutor on that, I think that would be a good idea. I mean, you gotta start somewhere.
They did mostly for competitive gaming though. Like they want their child to be a professional gamer and stuff.
Well, again, to each their own. I mean, if that's something they choose and that the child's not being forced, then.
But all right, to each their own. But on a personal level, like, what is your gut reaction to that? Because I too believe each their own. But when I first read that, I was like, wow, this is a really new world that we're in. Is no longer seen as the sort of a children's pastime. It's seen as something legitimate that you make investments into.
Now,
Well,
sorry, go ahead, Reed.
No, you go first. I got my own opinion to say about that.
Now, I do believe that children shouldn't be on their consoles all day, all the time. I believe they should go out and socialize and have fun. So, when I have my son, I tend not to have him on the console a lot. Like, he's either when we're at my parents' house, he plays with his other toys, or we go out or something. My parents are very active with him, but then when it's downtime, he's back on the tablet or whatever's over there. So I feel like they do need a break, time away from the electronics, but you know, I wouldn't send my 6-year-old outside to, you know, to go play with how society is today, like with the violence and stuff. Like, I'd be afraid if I let him to go outside to play with my neighbors, I wouldn't see him again, because, you know, anything can happen. So I'm protective like that. So, but go ahead, Ring. You can
go. The whole idea behind professional gamers really came to a forefront, if you will, when Counter-Strike became hyper competitive.
Yes.
That's when things started to change. Then Call of Duty came out. Then you have these professional teams nowadays. There's a whole big professional business behind games up on every level. There's professional Fortnite players. There's professional, you know, fucking Counter-Strike, of course, Call of Duty, Battlefield. It's all very.
He's running.
Yeah, I see that.
Sorry.
It's very superficial in a sense, but there is a now growing market behind it. And then, like, for example, us YouTubers, that was something that definitely was not present before. That is here now, and some people take it very seriously. Blah 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 blah. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that the whole thing about games, you know, the crazy markets and the business is a very real thing nowadays. Probably has been for the last maybe 5 years.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. I play a lot of games that have some level of competitive, you know, environment to it.
Not as much as a gamer as I used to be, as I could not have my games be on the same computer that my work was on. I literally did not have enough room, and so when I came here to Chicago, I could take only one computer with me, so I chose my work computer. And so I don't game as much as I used to. When I do, it's sort of a special treat, as it were. As up to date or abreast of modern gaming trends as I once was. So when I read this piece on the Fortnite tutors, as I said, it really, and you stated this, Ring, that it was, gaming has come into the mainstream.
Yeah.
This hyper competitive thing where it's a legitimate way of making a living now. Be it a professional gamer, be it a professional YouTuber. I mean, what we are doing here, I dare say, SB started it because of the fact that it was something you can do now and actually generate something of a profit. I realize that such discussion openly is not something that generates a community, but it is a truth. It may not be a massive part of why he did it, but it is a truth. So, the point with this is that it has been previously maligned and seen as something nerdy. Another element, like comic books, like comic book movies, that were seen as something of the mainstream. Very
You're gonna try to trap him.
Yeah.
Something very niche brought into the mainstream. Like with the Avengers movie, think about how much comic books and comic book characters have come into the mainstream. I mean, 2008. They go up to anyone in a shopping complex and ask, like in a Cineplex, and ask, what's your favorite comic book character? Good money that very few of the people you ask could say anyone.
Right.
But to the same people in the Cineplex, and you're going to be like, oh, I like Captain America, or like Thor. Oh my God, Chris Hemsworth is so dreamy. It's just.
If it turns mainstream in another way, which, you know, may not be exactly the same exact way, but it is a way regardless.
I mean, the fact that you as parents have to consider gaming as a part of your child's upbringing. shows how much it's become into the mainstream.
Yes.
Whereas it at one point was just an interest among many, it's now an integral part of your child's childhood.
Correct.
And
Times have changed.
conversations have gotten
I
rather
broke
heavy.
some bones.
Really? What bones have you broken?
No, I mean parts.
Sorry, I thought you were introducing it as a non sequitur to get the conversation on less heavy topic.
No. I like. This is a good conversation to have because one, I'm learning the different views. See, I didn't know how, because like how you mentioned about that, I guess gaming tutor. Like this is the first time I'm hearing of it. Like when you brought it up, this is the first time I'm hearing about it. So I wasn't aware that Ring knew about it. So hearing his view on it was quite interesting.
You,
Yes.
watching now, if you have the ability, why don't you comment on this in the chat?
Yeah.
Help enlarge the conversation.
See what you did there.
What happened?
Do the
Ah, bitch ass. I don't
language.
never. I'm always gonna have language.
You fainted.
I did. I'm doing better this round than I did on the Plamumu. I can't.
This is of the two. I would not want to be unceremoniously shoved off a cart into this dirt. If you can even call it dirt, it more looked like, I don't know, rotting piss. That's what it looks like. Rotting
He's up armoring.
infection. You have 100 zenny. How much can it work? How much would it be?
For what?
She's eating.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
eating so I can game up, and then I'm on my way.
Have you ever had something? Have you ever had a meal so luxurious in your life?
Yes, I have.
The Brazilian
Uh,
steakhouse.
Had the meat and cheese.
Yeah, the Brazilian steakhouse, which I went to once upon a time from a double guys at work that I worked at,
For your birthday.
that I got fired from like a couple days later.
What'd you get fired for?
So
Wanna talk about
it's nothing that I did wrong per se. So I was sitting in a chair at work, which was against the wall, and the chair was broken, so the chair would go all the way back, which would then damage the wall. But I guess the guy who was the boss of the area, the whole place, didn't like that, and they put it on me, and I got termed.
Anyway,
Okay, I'm
Mine,
gonna
yeah, what
shoot.
about you, Ring? What is the most luxurious meal you ever had?
Brazilian steakhouse.
Babe?
So,
What was that one?
have you ever been to a Brazilian steakhouse before?
Never.
Okay, so
Well-
basically what this is, you have a card or a little block thing that either has red or green, where you can stop them from bringing the food, or
I got
with
traps.
the red, or if it's green, like red, green, it keeps bringing. So anyways, these groups of raiders will bring you excuse me, different types of meat, whether it's prime rib, lamb, whatever meat they have, like from chicken. Like you'll get different types of meat, different types of sides and cheese, and just anything you can imagine. They'll bring it to you, and you're paying. It's a pretty penny, but you're what you're paying for it's well worth it from what you're getting.
Basically, is the upper class version that you're using like grade A steak and stuff instead of just whatever is available.
But it's not just that. It's different. Like I said,
Lamb chop and all that stuff. and
pork, chicken, anything. Just whatever meat you can think of, they'll have it.
The most luxurious meal I've ever had. One summer, my father and I were staying at the Bellagio in Las Vegas. we had some time before the show we were seeing that evening. And we went down to the restaurant floor, and among them we chose the Yellowtail Restaurant and Lounge. Beautiful place. It was there that I had, for the first time, a steak tartare. Have you ever had steak tartare?
No, I have not.
I might have. I just might not remembered at that Brazilian steakhouse place.
Steak tartare is no wait, it wasn't steak tartare. I had steak tartare somewhere else. I had salmon tartare, which is basically raw fish. I mean, oh my god, it was this beautiful, beautiful pink salmon that was so tender in your mouth. You would just put your tongue to the top of your mouth and you could crush the fish. That's how tender it was.
Wow.
The luxurious meal I have ever had, and I wager that should my luck continue its downward spiral, we'll ever have. But I'm glad to have had it. Steakhouse-wise, in Los Angeles, Steakhouse, Taylor's Steakhouse, which was established at the tail end of the Wilshire District being the nice part of town. But it's been there since 1954. It's there, oh my god. It's like, imagine the steakhouse your father used to go to, where it has like, it's very dark, wood paneling, red leather peels. The steaks there, oh my god, they were filet mignon, New York, Kansas City style. They were delicious. They were so tender that you literally could just let your knife sit on the top of the meat and pull back, and the knife would cut through. I'm salivating thinking of it. So anyway,
They look so free.
where are you headed now?
Back
So,
to,
what's the
I
bottom
think,
of
the
the
Great
bill?
View. Or the Rotten View.
I could not say.
It looks so free.
What we have are mere facts.
So what's the bottom of the veil like?
What truth they add up to.
You now get an idea of what the time difference is between us recording this and it coming on screen.
The world is full of mysteries to consume us.
So I find accents very interesting. Like, for example, the accent I gave that girl, we both know Zora Mangris is my version of a Welsh accent. And I personally find Welsh accents quite attractive. Welsh. And we all know that Valkyrie does find accents attractive.
I found
Because it's
something.
different.
Let's set
Yes.
it down.
Well, have you seen the best of video that SP posted?
No. He may have tried
Oh,
to
he-
share it, but I haven't watched it.
Yes, there's a prolonged clip of our first interaction where I think I even say, I'm sorry I'm talking over you, Val. It appears that we use the same time to win over the rest of you. Like, it's fine.
I like the way it sounds. It's okay. I saw that one and I laugh every time. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I said that out loud. Because I normally don't. I just keep it to myself, and I like the way you talk. I remember. Oh my Jesus.
We should regroup.
That was my first introduction to you, so it was very weird coming to this and like, why isn't she talking more? She seemed like she was so open with her feelings.
No. I'm normally I just keep to myself, like, well, on certain things, but like that I normally don't say.
Yes. So who is this woman you're talking to right now?
Oh, this is a Third Fleet Master.
You have a nickname for her?
Third Fleet Master. It's no to answer your question.
Why don't you give her a nickname? Like, I don't know,
if she had a name, I think it would be like Beatrice or something. B. I don't know. I haven't.
Right, from now on, we're calling her B.
Yeah.
So B is your master, then?
Well, yeah. Well, I guess Ring. Would you say she'd be the master, or is it the
B the master?
Ring?
She's a sorry, I muted myself. She is a member of a master of the 3rd Fleet, whereas we're members of the 5th Fleet, so we don't fall under her command structure.
If you take missions from her.
Yeah.
We can if we need to. Yes, we're friendly hunters, but we are under the 5th Fleet. That's what we are officially a part of.
So, are you going to try to update your garb here?
She doesn't do anything good until Anjanath. No, Rathalos.
Slow and careful.
Rathalos is her upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Diana.
each monster offers different parts that can be used to assemble deer. And for her, until she gets to a certain point, the best chest and deer she has probably from Rathalos, Anjanath, and Ododoron, which are 3 very strong monsters.
I love the Orogron armor.
Yeah, that's
You
pretty
can
good.
join me.
All right.
So, going back through that best of video, I realized that I never finished. Oh, did I finish? Did I do the potty trick where I talked really fast?
I know in one of those videos it was Ash who did it instead of you.
S did it. You had sirens going off in the background, so I don't think you got a chance to
So-
do it.
This is mine. This is my Gilbert and Sullivan going really fast.
Okay.
I said fully open to this awful situation here. Once a brother can be given moderation to tell him after cover my forgotten most senses that you can tap say penny consequences. Now, do not wish to perish by the soul of the deck, but the matter main does a little pattern of struggle, and it would you have come to me in that you flatter, but I've got to die tomorrow, so it really doesn't matter. And if I had been so lucky as to have a sturdy brother who could talk to me as we are talking now to one another, who could give me good advice when he discovered I was erring, which upon you is a very favourite that I'm giving my existence might be rather interesting in learn. I might listen to the abilities in riddles, particularly rapid and intelligible batteries, and generally helping evidence doesn't matter.
Yeah. No. No.
You can change your weapons
Wow.
and armor here.
There's the.
Make sure you're always.
Somehow it
that-
dropped me at the start of the quest, but I'm on my way.
But it
You can use the
Hold on.
item box to manage.
Oh,
your
you took off without me. That's what
it
happened.
said it's prepare. You said it was preparing. My bad. I didn't mean to. I thought you were ready.
All right, I'm getting in. I can eat and change equipment here.
Yeah. I'm.
I'm gonna put on get my bow.
Ah. They're dressed for bed, Valkyrie, if nothing else.
Let's see.
I would not want to sleep in this tent. What? Hey, Ring. What was the creature that can actually kill you in your tent?
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
I shall not repeat that name for a superstitious reason.
Beetlejuice?
3
Want
times.
some juice? He had a third name, right? Besides-
Beetlejuice, and Beetlejuice, and
You said bagel? Goose?
Beetlejuice. Yeah.
I was terrified of that movie. Because when I first saw it, I did not see the entire thing through. I tuned in right as the wedding scene was up, so it's a strange visuals that I've never seen before. And a woman comes in screaming the name Beetlejuice and gets like plates rammed into her mouth, like a plate suddenly jammed onto her mouth,
What, baby?
and then her teeth get ripped out and dance across the floor.
Donovan. Oh, yeah, from Alec Baldwin when he was his much younger years.
Yes, back when he was attractive and crazy instead of decrepit and crazy.
Yeah,
Big difference.
very big difference.
You can get away with a lot more if people think you're hot.
Yeah.
Ring, I'm sure you can relate. Valkyrie, I don't hear you concurring with that opinion.
You're not gonna. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna say anything.
Wow,
I
I'm
don't.
ugly.
No. Oh Jesus.
No,
What's ugly is your attitude.
no, I'm ugly.
You're. Cause
You're telling and
this is.
talking about down
If
the other chatness.
if I were to compliment you, or if I didn't say anything like I was trying not to, you would have had something to say either way because that's what you do. That's who you are. And so, shh, whatever.
I feel like I'm being targeted here.
Okay, S Junior.
S Junior? What?
He's a
I feel
well.
that needs an explanation.
S always thinks that we're targeting him, like we're always out to get him.
Oh, S. I thought like the letter S, Junior.
No, I meant S. Oh Jesus, Esp Junior. Sorry.
Junior. Yes. Though I will say SB does somewhat earn it.
Hey, you don't dish it out
He
if
is
you can't
our
handle
nominal. He is our nominal leader, so of course we're going to take the piss out of him a bit.
it. Of course, but we at least
Not man enough to join in and defend himself right now.
he said he's probably not going to be on a lot this week because he has stuff to do. Or
Oh, true.
something. Yeah.
This is true.
And hey, we all have lives outside of gaming, which is, not a bad thing. I tend not to be on during the week a lot, so it's understandable. I think I'm going the wrong way. I am going the wrong way. I was
There's
supposed
a joke to be made in there somewhere.
You're probably right. Follow ring, follow ring. I thought we had to climb up the vines to get to the Legiana ring.
Not those vines.
Are we back in the coral forest?
Mm-hmm.
Hunting a Legiana?
Yeah, Legiana. This one's a
Legiana.
Yeah, this one's a bitch.
That sounds like the name of a leg-based supermodel.
This
Might
one,
not be wrong.
Modeling Christian Dior's Nula and Boots Legiana.
Are you following me?
yeah. My phone went off, so I was checking my phone, but it was just a Facebook post.
Uh-huh.
We have been streaming for, well, you've been streaming. I joined in a little while in, but we've been streaming for an hour and a half now.
I lost.
Say you two, once you've gotten this,
Look up.
we call it.
Yeah, I'm gonna call this one after I beat this. So I want to play something else, or probably go back to watching Supernatural because it just started getting good. And
I have never seen Supernatural. I
it's
never thought I'd get into it.
at first it was really hard for me because it just wasn't catching my attention until the middle of the seasons. So it goes from to okay, now I'm fully attuned. And it's been like that. I should have been already finished with this season. This season and caught up to I think they're on the 13th season already. I don't know. But
That
it's
has
just,
been going for years.
yeah. And I think they are about to renew, or they got approved for the 14th. I don't know. Either
Is
way,
it true that there's a large following of female fans who have an incestual pairing between the two main characters?
There's a lot of fanatical fans out there for that show. Most of them being women. Yeah, it's.
I do hope you're not one of them. Anyway.
No.
no, I like Sam and Dean. Dean is my favorite character, but it's not like I'm as it was kindly put to me earlier, like a panty dropper for the not about me, but like a panty dropper moment or something.
I'm right.
Oh no! You stop that.
Wait, is this not what you're looking for?
This is it.
This is it.
It's not. It's not tick the box off.
Ugh.
We gotta hunt it.
There's a trap nearby. Use it, Meowster.
Yep.
Underbug cage. Oh, so tank is yours?
Yeah. No, tank's mine. I don't know why you named that one Peter.
Because I wanted to name it Peter.
Don't question her choices, man.
I don't know why you named him Tank, but I didn't question you.
Because he's named after our dog.
That's kind of wrong to name a cat after your dog. It's kind of insulting if you think about it. Yeah, you don't like that, did you?
What breed's your dog? Because I'm imagining a massive Saint Bernard with
No,
sad
it's a Jack
droopy
Russell
eyes.
Terrier. It's an ankle biter. Jack Russell Terrier. Mix. I really think it's a mix, but
It's not a mix. There's
Why are you
no.
so obsessed with its... anyway. Wow, that thing went down very quickly.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of fight in him.
Oh yeah.
He's an apex predator.
Valkyrie, why do you have what looks like a crossbow that ejects tank shells?
Oh, this is my light bow gun.
Ejects tank shells.
Yes.
Shane,
How? It's not big enough to... The shells are physically larger than the gun is itself.
Well, I mean, you are two-handed guns, you know, that are quite heavy, and weight alone can counteract the effect of firing large projectiles.
It's... The shells are thicker than your leg. Where are you keeping all of these?
We don't ask questions around here.
I mean, if
That sounded like the beginning of like some West. We don't ask questions around these parts.
it reminds me of Rango.
Yes.
Well,
Also great
now
film.
of the West came a man true and bold, champion of the Fandango. By night he drank whiskey, by day killed Batman, and the townswomen knew him as Rango. That was one of my favorite movies for a while.
Yeah, our son loves it. He'll sit there and watch it with my dad.
What the hell was that?
What do we do now, Sheriff? Now?
The musical score was great. Acting was great all around.
Yeah.
It had, even though it was an animated film, it had a solid feel of a western.
Yes, I do love a good Western. Pity they don't make them anymore.
There was the Django Unchained, which is more of a it's a western in a sense, and then there was also the Magnificent Seven. We saw a Magnificent
You have
Seven,
Red
right?
Dead?
No.
Pity.
Yeah, I know. I hear it's pretty good. And then Magnificent Seven was like what, last year, huh?
2 years ago.
Was it? And then I saw the
This is back when Chris Pratt was in everything.
Well, he's still in everything. But anyways,
In
Hell,
everything. Like it was
hell,
sort
he
of,
has he's in the next Lego movie. He's a character of everything he's played recently.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, Chris Pratt is great. Why am I coming up here? What am I doing?
Yeah, aren't you supposed to be helping me?
Aren't you, Ring? Maybe it's time to ask yourself what you actually contribute to this relationship. But perhaps that's too heavy a topic for discussion here.
Yeah. Quite heavy, actually.
So, how was Amnesia?
I didn't play it except for the bit that I played with when S was on, and well, I wanted to play it today. I really did, but I just with it with Jess coming over plus eating, I didn't want to be interrupting the stream again.
Okay.
No,
Plus,
no.
I worked until 4, so yeah.
There we are. Now quickly fire more tank shells into this thing. Thanks. You said you were something of a firearms enthusiast, did you not?
Yes.
Thanks. Are you the same way?
She took most of her taste from me, so I would say not quite as much.
Yeah. I like hearing about it, like seeing the excitement, especially with our kid. But as far as being able to name them and actually playing War Thunder or World of Tanks, that's more of Ring's specialty.
Yes. I find them somewhat fascinating. Did you know there was a tank that the Finnish used mostly? Called... What was it called? It was something 42. I want to say...
The STRB 42?
Good job.
No, it was used Christie suspension.
I'm proud of you. Good
Anyway,
job.
the reason it's notable is because it was designed in such a way that if its tracks were removed, you could actually drive around on the on its road wheels.
BT7.
Yes, yes, I guess
Shit.
that's it.
It's a Swedish model, or the Finnish model. It's a
it's
modified
technically-
version of BT5.
The American.
And
It was
this,
designed by
like,
an American.
Yes. And it can run on road wheels with some minor retooling in the field.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I mostly know about tanks from an anime I watched.
Which one?
Bös und Panzer!
Shane,
Yeah, I know.
that's your show.
Yes, it is. Still
Some
waiting for the finale to be released.
How do I cure frostbite?
Oh, no berry.
Oh god. Oh god, are you going to collapse?
No, but I was frozen because of the Legiana, and it doesn't. I did it again. Great. Oh. Ah, you cunt.
Language! America on this. I'm not good. And you fainted.
I did.
That gives you an idea of how far back the stream is.
Yeah, alright, now I'm going into my tent to see if I can pull out any more null berries.
See if you have any meta
Meanwhile-
potions.
Huh?
See if you have any meta potions.
Let's see, how long has this been going? We are
Uh,
approaching 2 hours.
Not bad.
Like I said, it's gonna. I'm gonna change when it have a max potion. I'm gonna play a different game once I'm done with this for sure. Flash pod. Yeah, I don't have any other potions. It's all good.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
That was a good hit.
Okay.
Owie.
Excuse me.
If you could visit any game world, what world would you visit?
Hmm.
I would say Left 4 Dead.
Really?
Probably Imperion.
Sure.
Just
I'm a sucker for Art Deco.
yeah. He's up top now, by the way.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me.
I just
My
got
love is...
Ouch.
Didn't mean to distract you.
No, it's reminding me of a show I watched before with Bao. The Cafe.
That was a good show.
That's what he was singing, the intro song with the male version.
That's also a
Wow.
song too. Yeah.
Have you ever played Portal?
There was a Portal's
Have
fine.
you ever played it on stream?
I have I think it's Portal 2 that I have. And no, I haven't played on stream. But I can
Oh, I think we found your next game.
Yeah. I would have to download it. But
But it's a classic.
Of course, yeah. I also was thinking about streaming my Sanitarium game. It's an older game. It's like a point-and-click game. I guess you would consider it as an RPG, but it's not like you don't farm. But it's this guy left the insane asylum to go look for his sister or something, and you get to this town where you have to you meet deformed people, like a two-faced monkey-looking girl, or something evil's happening in this town, and there's a.
Isn't it always?
Yeah. Well, also the mother, they call the creature that's infecting these people. I don't know, I can't remember exactly the whole story behind it, but it's one of my mom's favorite games. So she played it, I grew up watching her play this game. She would play it over and over because she loved it. So
That sounds interesting.
it really is. A lot of the games that I like has sentimental value to them. As you can tell, with Bendy, I play it because of my son. I have a game called Shadow Man that my mom plays, and Sanitarium played. Come on. You need to die.
Die, you graceful bird creature. Die!
And I also want to finish eating my dinner, too, so probably
Oh, God. It's probably cold by now.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Really?
Yeah, because I ate it when it was hot, and then I kind of got full, and I'm looking at it now, and I'm like, okay.
What are you having for dinner tonight, Val?
Ah, jeez Louise, Batman, I fainted again. I'm having a combination fried rice.
It's all right, Robin. Foresaw this happening. And so that's... Wait, can you only... You can faint 3 times, right?
Yep.
Faint again.
Yep, and I start all over.
There's a trap nearby. But what are you having for dinner?
Combination fried rice.
Ooh. I've never really liked fried rice, to be honest.
I love it. Normally, I used to get sesame chicken a lot. That was my go-to, but once I tried the combination and what I mix it with, because I eat it with duck sauce or sweet and sour sauce, it's if I don't do the sesame chicken, it's that.
And we have reached the 2-hour mark by the time you're hearing this. Those of you who have been watching from the beginning. Again, oh, hey, we finally have someone in the chat. I don't know how long your message has been there, hey, Nickard, but I personally am doing fine. The question for the rest of the participants are, how are you?
Pretty good.
Functional?
Dying
That's-
a lot.
I do lie a lot.
That is such a modern phrase. I said that
What?
phrase 100 years ago. Yes, Mrs. Valkyrie, how do you do? Oh, I'm fine. I'm just dying a lot. Miss Valkyrie, I think you need time in the sanatorium. It is
Hello, hey nerd. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
All right, let's like
This thing fucking ran again.
it did right when I was climbing up too.
I know where it's going. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to that top small spaced area.
No.
No? But you know what I'm
No.
talking about when I said that, right?
Well, it's his nest, yeah.
Ah, bitch ass.
And let's see. So the rest of you watching, you can interact with us too. Just go over to that chat window and I shall read it out with my sonorous voice. And the rest of us shall talk to you. There's only 4 of you right now, so if each of you just commented, we'd each say hello and talk to all of you. You attractive young people.
Yeah.
Hello, attractive young people.
You know what? You'll be great at reading creepypastas.
Well, why not try one now? There's always one I'd want to read out. You wouldn't mind, would you?
No.
Right. Russian researchers in the late 1940s kept 5 people awake for 15 days using an experimental gas-based stimulant. They were kept in a sealed environment to carefully monitor their oxygen intake so the gas didn't kill them, since it was toxic in high concentrations. This was before closed-circuit cameras, so they only had microphones and 5-inch thick glass porthole-sized windows into the chamber to monitor them. The chamber was up with books, cots to sleep on, but no bedding, running water and toilet, and enough dried food to last all 5 over a month. The subjects were political prisoners deemed enemies of the state during World War II. Everything was fine for the first 5 days. The subject hardly complained, having been promised, falsely, that they would be freed if they submitted to the test and did not sleep for 30 days. Their conversations and activities were monitored, and it was noted that they continued to talk about increasingly traumatic incidents in their past, and the general tone of their conversation took on a darker aspect after the 4-day mark. As they started to complain about the circumstances and events that led them to where they were and started to demonstrate severe paranoia. To each other and began to alternately whispering into the microphones and one-way mirrored portals. To think they could win the trust of the experimenters by turning over their comrades, the other test subjects in activity with them. As the researchers suspected this was an effect of the gas itself, as the first of them started screaming. He ran the length of the chamber repeatedly. The top of his lungs for 3 hours straight. He continued attempting to scream, but was only able to produce the occasional squeaks. Postulated that he had physically torn his vocal cords. The most surprising thing about this behavior was how the other captives reacted to it. Didn't react to it. They continued whispering to the microphones until the second of the captives started to scream. Screaming captives took the books apart, smeared page after page with their own feces, and pasted them calmly over the glass portholes. The screaming promptly stopped. Into the microphones. After 3 more days passed, the researchers checked the microphones hourly to make sure they were working, since they thought it was impossible that no sound could be coming from with the 5 people inside. The oxygen consumption in the chamber indicated that all 5 must still be alive. The amount of oxygen 5 people would consume at very heavy levels of strenuous exercise. On the morning of the 14th day, the researchers did something they said they would not do to get a reaction from the captives. They used the intercom inside the chamber, hoping to provoke any response from the captives. Response from the captives they were afraid were either dead or vegetables. They announced, "Chamber to test the microphones. Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor or you will be shot. One of you your immediate freedom." They heard a single phrase in a calm voice respond. "I want to be free." Out among the researchers and the military forces funding the research. Unable to provoke any more responses using the intercom, it was finally decided to open the chamber at midnight on the 15th day. Flushed of the stimulant gas and filled with fresh air, and immediately voices from the microphones began to object. 3 different voices began begging, as if pleading for the life of loved ones, to turn the gas back on. The chamber was opened, and the soldiers sent in to retrieve the test subjects. Scream louder than ever, and so did the soldiers when they saw what was inside. 4 of the 5 test subjects were still alive, though no one could rightly call the state that any of them in life. For the past 5 days, food rations past day 5 had not been so much as touched. Chunks of meat from the dead test subjects' thighs and chests stuffed into the drain at the center of the chamber, blocking the drain and allowing 4 inches of water to accumulate on the floor. Precisely how much of the water on the floor was actually blood was never determined. Surviving test subjects also had large portions of muscle and skin torn away from their bodies. The destruction of flesh and exposed bone on their fingertips indicated that the wounds were inflicted by hand, not with teeth, as the researchers initially thought. Closer examination of the position and angles of the wounds indicated that most, if not all of them, were self-inflicted. Organs below the ribcage of all 4 test subjects had been removed. While the heart, lungs, and diaphragm remained in place, the skin and most of the muscles attached to the ribs had been ripped off, exposing the lungs through the ribcage. All the blood vessels and organs remained intact. They had just been taken out and laid on the floor, fanning out around the eviscerated but still living bodies of the subjects. The digestive tract of all 4 could be seen to be working, digesting food. Apparent that what they were digesting was their own flesh that they had ripped off and eaten over the course of days. And I need to stop now because my throat is becoming sore from doing this voice.
I know it. I know this story actually quite well. It's one of my other favorite creepypastas. It's the Russian science experiment one.
Yeah, that's was a very good reading actually.
You did rather well. Where are you, dude?
I had to do things. I didn't have any trains.
Well,
Is he up?
yeah, he's up where I said he was at.
Did you hit him?
I'm hitting him now, yes.
I told.
It's not like...
Don't hit if I'm in a trap because it saves us all the effort.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
sorry
not like he
about
was
that.
sleeping. He was flying.
Or was he?
Yes.
Oh my, are you still hunting that thing?
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I thought it'd be done by now.
Well, I ran out of tranquilizers, so I had to go back and get some. I just need them on the ground.
Jesus. Yes, that story is oddly apt for me, as I did this, actually November, go 4 full days without sleep, and it was hellish, to say the least.
Now we can get to
Yes.
the rotten veg. Come on.
There we go.
The research base.
I was
Did
using a lot of my trank
that-
ammo. I'm sorry.
Put him to sleep.
Yeah, I used a lot of my trank ammo for that.
Oh, good.
Oh, kill it. Kill it. End this nightmare.
I'm flying.
As much as I would love to have gotten the pieces of this creature for armor. Oh, look at that one.
That's a screenshot.
Yeah.
You should have planned rewards for this one because I broke all the parts.
And with that, should we call it?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it so I can finish eating, and I'll be back on with the new game after a bit.
All right, this has been pleasant. I've been Amade.
And thank you for joining us as well. It was a pleasure hearing your voice again.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure being the bearer of that voice again. Goodbye.
Bye.
Mm,
Oh, what's with the grunting now?
nothing.
Uh-huh. Are you
All
tired?
right, the time has come. Let's
Is he
head
tired?
to the
No,
bottom
are
of the
you
pit.
tired is what I was asking.
Sort of, but not really. So we got a good amount done.
We got a chunk done.
Yeah. Up next should be Autodron.
Yeah.
Or Autodron or whatever.
I would
Jennifer.
really like to get the full armor set for that one, because that's armor set on my character is sexy as fuck. I'm just saying.
Did you already stop the stream?
I'm about to.
Okay.
It's just taking a little longer on my end.